Hello, guys. We are starting another one right away. So this time we are doing the second part of our PHP session. You know, this is manual. This is a manual process of storing information. We come into the code and store the information on the session. This simply means that it's only the developers that can create an information that can be stored on sessions. Now we want to get information from users. So I will call it user inputs and store it in the section. So I will say how to store user inputs in section. Okay. So this we can be able to get information from users and store them in session just in case they also want to use them across the web page. So to do this, we have to set a form. Step one, let me say step one, okay, sets a form to collect user inputs, right? So that's step one. I'll say doc. I, let me give it user inputs. Right. So let's take our form. Let's take, for example, H2. Okay, say store your information. Okay, I will say form then. Okay, this form method is going to be post. So set your method to post. Then we are going to collect phone number, email, username, and password. So I'm going to now say label, label, skip the four, username. Okay, and to break a line, I'll now say inputs. The type is test. Give it a name called username. That's it. And let's just copy and paste BR first. Let's copy and paste. Okay, let's change email. Second one is email, then email. The third one is phone number. Okay, set this one to phone number. Then the last one would be for password. I told you we are taking username, email, phone number, and password. So this one is for password. So remember, all this name I will be using them, okay, by the PHP. Okay, now let's give it a button. I'll say button, submit, enter, say submit. I have to give this button name also so that PHP can identify it short. The button is what we are using to post the form. So I'll give it submit as well. You can give it any name. You can choose to give it um, login. You can choose to give it send. You can choose to give it update. But right now we are submitting. So let's make it conventional. I'm submitting. All right. My post is set. My button name is set. So let's go and grab this form now. So I will say that step two, step two, grab the inputs, grab the user inputs from the form using PHP scripts. Okay, so let's go up. Okay, let's do it here. I will say now, if, of course, you all know that if he says post, he said posts, and what are we posting? We are posting this button, submit. So you put it here, submit. Okay, and when we have posted, we are now going to take this username, take this email. So the first one is the username. So set a username variable, and that will be equal to posts. Okay, username. So this username is simply this name we have, this username we have here. Okay, so let's set for email and password. So change this one to email, email, phone. Remember this one is phone number. We come here and say phone number, and the other one is password, and then we'll come here and say password. All right. So automatic, basically, right now we are trying to say that get this input and store it here. So whenever we call this one, whatever that is being stored here is already inside here. So if I echo this variable called password, I should be able to get a certain kind of password that the user have passed in into this place, like so. All right. So now we are now going to get them and return them to the user. First of all, let's just return the email to the user. Let's not say echo email. All right. So let's go to our section page. All right, we have ours here now. Remember we are creating, we are starting a section from this session page.php. Okay, so let's say email, phone number, and password. I will submit now. Good. You see, I've collected the user input and return only the email to the user. Remember, that's what I said. I said, let's take only the email, return it to the, let's return only the email to the user. So we've returned the email to the user. Now, let's store them in session right now. Okay. So I'm going to say session, okay, email is equal to email, right? So I'm going to do that for the rest ones. So for username, the name, this one for phone number, phone number, and the last one is for password. Okay, password. Right. So that's that. Let's not echo email anymore. Let's do that. So what we said now is that we say get this email username from this variable, okay, and store it in this variable. All right. Then this variable is already containing the username. Then we are now sending the data that is inside this user variable into this global variable. So when we go to the other page and still call this variable, we should be able to get them here. Now, at this time, we are not going to go to the browser and view this page direct. Okay, we are going to view the come to this page straight. Immediately we click on the submit button. Immediately we click on this submit button, we should go to the other page and see the information there. So I'll just come here and said, after doing all of this thing, head straight to location. What's it called? View session PHP. All right. So I'll save it and check. So let's refresh. That's a username. Or let me say sense scripter.me, and I'll say phone number 080 blah 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 blah. All right. I'll put my password sense 123. All right. So I'll say submit. Yeah. So it has taken me to view session.php. I don't need to load it on the URL direct. Now I have my username, I have my email, I have a new phone number, different from the ones I put before. Okay, so this is it, guys. How to take user input. Now let's take a button or a link that will take us back to that page. So let's put that in here. So I will go to view session, then I will come here and say a tag session PHP and say go back home. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we have it. Go back home. Remind you okay. Yeah, yeah. So I'll say go back home. I come back home. I take someone else trend. I take someone else. Oh shit. Trend at gmail.com. Alright, so take phone number, take password, submit. So that's all for how to get user inputs and store them in session, then view them in the other page by submitting. Thank you for listening.